Welcome to majc.ai, the operating system for hospitality. At Magic, we know an operating system is more than just software and systems. It's about people, because hospitality is nothing without them. So supporting the hospitality community is our number one goal.
I think there needs to be more of a support system. Like, you have to love this business and you have to love every aspect of it, including sharing tribal knowledge on what is successful and also tribal knowledge of what is a failure.
Founded by lifelong experts, we're building the place where everyone in hospitality, from seasoned pros to first-timers, can gather, share, and grow together. Plus, we're crafting scalable tools and AI-supported software to boost your business. Dive into our vibrant community platform packed with meaningful conversations and robust tools and templates designed just for you. Need more? Our custom software solutions have got you covered. From recruiting and staffing to digital playbooks and dashboards, we're working on building a unique hub of resources unlike any other. Magic is your single point of origin for important conversations, accessible tools, valuable insights, and more. Join us at majc.ai. The evolution of hospitality is here.
In the beginning, we're just sort of looking at a dish that we want. But at the end, we got to understand what goes into that dish every single time, and not to be pejorative about it, but the lowest common denominator could potentially cook this.
I know you, I think fairly well. I know that you have incredibly high standards. I've been fortunate enough to eat your food, to cook alongside you, all of those things. You give a great amount of attention to sourcing, to technique, to all of the things. How do you get your standards to trickle down?
Yeah, I mean, standardizing dishes. I mean, listen, let me back up for a second. So we're a big restaurant, right? We're talking, hundreds of covers per day. Maxing at 1,000, minning at, let's say, 300. So when we talk about a production sheet, we gram every single recipe out. We pre-portion every recipe because we want our cooks to be cooking, and we want our prep cooks to be, controlling the quality to the station, and on top of that, we have daily line checks for flavor, appearance, sort of born sell-by dates for everything from aioli to pieces of fish. So we control the process, all the way back to the beginning of the raw product, right? When we're receiving it, through prepping it and scaling everything out. I think as I was sort of raised as a chef, it was like everything's done by your hand or by a tablespoon or a spoodle. You got to train, and when you talk about probability, you talk about training, you have to have, we have 45 people on our schedule. You have to have 45 people that understand what a tablespoon is in between their 5 fingers, and that's just not possible. So when we sort of talk about the scale that we're on now, we're gramming black beans out and we're putting them in a deli that we'll reuse with a lid for every recipe that uses black beans. And they'll be stored in broth, and they'll all be the exact same every single time. So that way, when we're talking about the cooks, they just need to sear the pork belly over the right temperature to the right caramelization level before they deglaze with a pre-portioned amount of lemon juice and then add in the amount of garlic and the amount of black beans that we need to finish that pork belly dish. So it sounds super unromantic in practice, but that's where the brainstorming and ideation comes in, right? In the beginning, we're just sort of looking at a dish that we want. But at the end, we got to understand what goes into that dish every single time, and not to be pejorative about it, but the lowest common denominator could potentially cook this. So how do I give them the tools to cook it as close to the way I would cook it as I possibly can? And understanding that it will never be the exact same level of quality as you. There's a reason why we are where we are. We do it great. And we're never going to be able to teach it exactly the way that we do it, but we can get it darn close, especially if we pay attention to every single step of that process.
I think standardization actually creates an opportunity for innovation to be more successful in so many ways, like obviously from an execution standpoint, but it also teaches the team how to think through a dish conceptually from beginning to end, right? And they have a much better sense of like going into it, okay, here's how we're going to handle each element of this dish from raw product all the way through to completion, so that ultimately that dish is like each of the parts of it sing, not just all together, obviously, but singularly as well. Um, I've always loved that, and I've always believed in that, and I think they actually appreciate it.
Yeah, I love the way you frame that, right? When you think about, a build to sheet versus a recipe sheet, right? And you think about the quality that we're trying to ensure, they're thinking about all of those recipe sheets in order to get to that build to sheet. And that's how you
Yep.
sort of ensure quality from, again, back to the black beans, right? Who do we source them from? How long are they? How long do they last? And then you also naturally, as you build your prep sheets, understand that maybe the pork belly is done 3 times a week, but the beans are only done twice a week. And it helps to
Exactly.
sort of max out understanding of what that is with the lead time that we have, with the P mix, with the sales that we potentially see.